Yeah. Give yourself a moment just to land in this precious pause space, to just breathe, to just be here. Notice your breath, where it enters, where it exits, where it fills, expands, and where perhaps there's even a sense of void or absence or even lack as the breath leaves. This ebb and flow, this expanding and releasing. I'd like to invite a mudra of sorts. The thumbs come together and the fingers spread. And just lay them across your chest. And at first you might notice the weight or the heat or even the shape of the shoulder. What else do you notice in this mudra laid upon your heart space? Butterfly by Lisa Lowitz. An orange and black butterfly alights on a potted sage. So put one hand on top of the other. Spread your fingers into wings. Move them up and down, together and apart. What else is there to do than to become the butterfly, winging through the world enchanted? It's freedom, our freedom. It's beauty, our beauty. The inhale, let the fingers lift off of the chest. On the exhale, let them fall back into surrender, to rest. Inhale and exhale. I love the analogy of the butterfly as the invitation to our own becoming, our own transformation. It requires, yes, the work of our hands, but also the work of our hearts. To trust the process, to risk the transition, the transformation. But even the butterfly doesn't do all the work on her own. She relies on her younger self, the caterpillar, to eat, to get big and strong, And then to find a safe and secure place to build the cocoon, to secure this temporary shelter, creating a pause, to allow for the magic of transformation from caterpillar to butterfly. But even in addition to the earlier self, the butterfly counts on the sun and the rain, the soil, and the planted seed of the milkweed. The seed that must be planted in the fall, so that the harsh conditions of winter crack open that outer shell. Let the seed sprout to grow into the milkweed plant, which the caterpillar will then eat those leaves, to grow strong, to find its way, to build the cocoon. Adding on just a little more movement here, as if exploring the space between your inner heart and the world, the effort of your practice of loving and living. Let the hands pulsate. Let the wings perhaps flutter. And maybe this is enough right here. Or maybe the arms take more of a sun breath journey, inhaling and exhaling. But movement is reminiscent of your work that lays ahead. Yeah, we're still even perhaps visualizing within the cocoon the flying, the flight, the soaring that might come after this season. And whatever movement your hands, your arms have explored here, go ahead and drop the hands, tuck the wings in, like a broken wing in our yin practice. Wrap the hands perhaps even around the back of the body. Sit on them, hold the elbows, or just let them rest a little bit farther behind the chest. Notice the breath here. Notice where the breath maybe feels different. Can you still expand into that low belly, the fullness of the lungs, the full range of the diaphragm? Durga breath, belly, ribs, and chest. No one else can do the work of growing, of becoming, or even breathing for us. That is our life's work. That is the Dharma that is unique and specifically ours to do. And yet it would be a mistake to think that we do that work in isolation, in independence from our circle, from our family, from our friends, from our colleagues, from our loved ones, from our heroes, from our teachers, from our neighbors. So let's now move the mudra once again and give yourself a half or a full hug of wrapping the arms across the chest. And again, notice the burden of this binding on your breath. And simultaneously, perhaps you can connect with the support offered in this expression of a hug, of loving, holding, and support. In other words, is it worth the weight of the arms to feel the beauty of the encouragement and support? And sometimes we need a gentler hug. Sometimes we need more of that squeezing connection. But all the while, the breath still needs to move. And perhaps you have received a hug where the breath was squeezed out of you. Maybe that hug lasted long enough that there was the beginnings of panic. And then as that wave of the next breath came in, the relief, the remembering, the love. One more position as we take the hands perhaps above the head, interlace the fingers, or behind the head, whatever feels the most easeful, as if we are airing our wings, right? So as the butterfly has to struggle free from the cocoon, we too have to struggle with our daily toils. If someone does those chores for us, temporarily, we feel the relief, but we don't go strong enough for the flight that requires the dexterity, the perseverance, the strength, the confidence that comes from freeing ourselves from the burdens that keep us contained. And so maybe there's even a test flight of walking the elbows forward and back, maybe even a lifting of the shoulder blades. This airing out, this drying is essential for the health of the wings, not only to build the dexterity in the muscles of flight, but to dry the tissues of the wings so that they can sustain flight. Good. Where would you fly? Where would you land? As you release your hands, maybe there's a visualization of what's next. Preparing for your own becoming, your transformation, your shift. You can begin in the breath, or return to the breath, no matter where you sit or stand or arrive. But aligning the effort of breathing, the effort of growing, of noticing, and eventually the effort of doing and non-doing or undoing is the path to our own becoming. It's freedom, our freedom. It's beauty, our beauty. Once again, return the hands to your heart, whether it's palms together or that butterfly bird shape resting. this short breathing practice, a flight, a journey in and of itself. And yet we come back again to where we started. This place now, our landing zone, from which to fly forth again. Where will you travel? In your mind, in your heart, in your body? Where will you engage effort to learn new skills in breath, in articulation of fine motor skills, in compassion, in puzzle solving? Do your work. Begin with the breath. Let your hands come to rest. May you breathe deeply so you can move freely. So you can labor lovingly and live vibrantly. So you can be well. Thanks for breathing with me.